All right, today we are diving deep into a really crucial chapter from Marvel's epic Civil War storyline. This is a moment where the line between hero and villain gets, well, it gets really, really blurry. So picture this. A war has just exploded. But this isn't heroes versus villains. Nope, this is hero versus hero. And it's forcing everyone in the Marvel universe, and us too, to ask one simple but impossible question. Whose side are you on? To really get what's going on, you've got to understand what they're even fighting about. And honestly, it all boils down to one single piece of legislation. So here's the deal. There's this new law, the Superhuman Registration Act. It forces anyone with powers to register with the government, basically to unmask. On one side, you've got Iron Man, Tony Stark. He thinks this is a must-do for public safety. On the other, you've got Captain America, Steve Rogers, who sees it as a total violation of their freedom. And just like that, this one law splits the entire superhero community right down the middle, turning best friends into wanted fugitives. And this is where things get really interesting, because it brings us to Spider-Man. See, Peter Parker, he actually sided with Iron Man at first. He even unmasked publicly to show his support. But as we join the story, yeah, he's starting to have some pretty serious second thoughts. So Peter goes straight to his mentor, Tony Stark, and he is just horrified by this prison they've built for unregistered heroes. It's in this other dimension called the negative zone. And to Peter, it's not a prison. He calls it a gulag, a place where his friends, actual heroes, are being locked away forever without even getting a trial. And that, right there, that's his line in the sand. He's saying he can make compromises, sure, but he is not going to hunt down his fellow heroes just because they're fighting for what they believe in. For Peter, this whole thing has just gone way too far. You know, Tony's comeback isn't about debating the finer points. It's a threat, plain and simple. He reminds Peter that the whole world knows he's Spider-Man now, and that means his family, Aunt May, Mary Jane, they're totally exposed. It is a cold, calculated move to keep Peter in line by showing him exactly what he stands to lose. So what do you do, backed into a corner like that, with a choice between your conscience and your safety? Peter chooses his conscience. And in this incredible moment, he literally shatters the glass ceiling of his old life and becomes a fugitive. Okay, so he's out. But escaping is one thing, right? Surviving as one of the most wanted men in the country, that's a whole different ballgame. And yeah, Peter doesn't get far at all. He's trying to escape through the sewers, and he's immediately tracked down by Iron Man's forces. But it's who they send after him that shows you just how dark this war has really gotten. And check this out. These aren't heroes they sent. No way. They're convicted supervillains, Jester and Jack-o'-lantern. And now they're working for the government. Just think about that for a second. To capture a hero, Iron Man has unleashed actual criminals, giving them a badge and permission to hunt down his former friend. I mean, the villain's taunt here, it is just perfect. Jack-o'-lantern is literally mocking Spider-Man for being a criminal, while he, unknown supervillain, gets to wear a sheriff's badge. It just perfectly nails the twisted morality of the pro-registration side. And this fight, man, it is just vicious. Peter is outnumbered, he's outgunned, and these panels show a brutal, one-sided beatdown. It's a grim look at the immediate, painful price of defying Tony Stark. So just when you think it's all over, with Peter defeated and completely at their mercy, the whole conflict takes another, totally unexpected and violent turn. The villains are closing in, they're ready to finish the job. There are no other heroes in sight. And then, from the shadows of the sewer, a new figure emerges. And it is someone that absolutely no one saw coming. It's the Punisher, of all people, the violent, gun-toting vigilante that most heroes would try to lock up. He's the one who saves Spider-Man. He deals with the villains quick and brutal and carries the beaten Peter Parker right into the secret headquarters of Captain America's Resistance. So while Spidey is finding this new, very unlikely home with the Resistance, let's shift gears and go back to the architect of this whole thing, Tony Stark, and get a look at his grand plan for the future. And here it is. This is Tony Stark's vision brought to life. The Negative Zone prison. A cold, sterile facility in another dimension built to hold anyone, friend or foe, who dares to defy his new law. He's actually visiting a captured daredevil, and not just to gloat. He's trying to recruit him. He lays out his endgame, a government-sponsored superhero team in every single state, all accountable, all under his control. For Tony, this is the path to total order. But Daredevil, he's not buying any of it. He barely says a word. Instead, as he's being led away, he passes along a little message he's been saving just for Tony. A single silver dollar. Okay, so this coin, it's not just some random pocket change. This is a huge symbol. It's an allusion to one of the most famous traitors in history. In the Bible, Judas betrayed his friend, Jesus, for 30 pieces of silver. That coin represents the ultimate act of betrayal. Wow. With that one word, Judas, Daredevil just passes judgment on everything Tony Stark has become. He's not just saying he disagrees with him, he's accusing him of betraying his friends, his principles, everything they all once stood for. It is a absolutely devastating final blow. And that's pretty much where this chapter leaves us. The lines in the sand have been drawn clearer than ever. The moral compromises have been made, and the stakes are just impossibly high. You know, the story doesn't really give you an easy answer here. Instead, it leaves us with this massive question. It forces you to look at both sides, Tony's quest for order and Captain America's fight for freedom, and really think, in a world where heroes fight heroes, whose side would you be on?